Have you ever felt like you didn't quite fit into the crowd? Like your way of seeing the world, your choices, or your values set you apart? What if I told you that this difference isn't a weakness, but your greatest strength, a shield that protects you from toxic influences and harmful people? Being different isn't just about standing out, it's about standing strong. It's a beacon that guides you to authenticity, attracts goodness, and repels negativity. In a world obsessed with conformity, embracing your uniqueness is a revolutionary act, a declaration that you won't compromise who you are to fit into places or relationships that don't serve you. In today's video, we're diving into 8 profound aspects of the power of being different. These insights, drawn from behavioral psychology, Stoic philosophy, and the journey of self-discovery, will show you how your individuality can protect you, empower you, and lead you to a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. But here's the catch. This isn't about superficial changes or temporary fixes. This is about embracing the core of who you are, leveraging that power to rise above negativity, and creating a life that truly reflects your highest values. Stay with me until the end of this video, because each of these 9 aspects will not only shift the way you see yourself, but also the way you navigate the world. And if this resonates with you, hit that like button, subscribe to Victory Stoic, and join our growing community of people who are learning to transform challenges into wisdom and wisdom into unstoppable strength. Let's begin this journey together. Because being different isn't just about surviving in a tough world. It's about thriving, inspiring, and showing others that authenticity is the greatest power of all. Number 1, authenticity, a natural filter for the good and the bad. In a world where masks are the norm, being authentic is a bold and radical act. When you live authentically, you become a beacon of truth. And truth has a way of revealing the intentions of those around you. It's not just a personal value, it's a natural filter that separates those who genuinely care from those who are only there to use you. Why authenticity is your superpower? Authenticity demands vulnerability, but it also commands respect. It sets clear boundaries and eliminates the guesswork in relationships. Those who truly value you will appreciate your honesty and integrity. Those with selfish intentions, however, will find it uncomfortable, even threatening. By being authentic, you make it impossible for manipulative people to maintain their facade. Picture this. You're invited to join a group at work that thrives on gossip and negativity. Deep down, you know this doesn't align with your values. So you politely decline, saying, "I'd prefer to focus my energy on more constructive conversations." 2 things happen immediately. First, those who respect your decision see you as someone with integrity and likely feel inspired. Second, those who are there for drama feel exposed and may even retaliate with criticism or exclusion. But here's the beauty of authenticity. Their reaction is not your burden. It's their discomfort with your truth. Being authentic isn't easy. It requires courage to stand firm in a world that constantly pressures you to conform. But when you live authentically, you attract people who align with your values and repel those who don't. It's like a mirror that reflects the true nature of those around you. You no longer waste energy deciphering motives or maintaining relationships that drain you. Instead, you create space for genuine connections and meaningful interactions. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Never esteem anything as of advantage to you that will make you break your word or lose your self-respect." Living authentically is about honoring your truth, even when it's inconvenient or unpopular. It's about refusing to betray yourself to win the approval of others. Authenticity is more than a personal choice. It's a declaration of self-worth. It tells the world, "This is who I am, and I will not apologize for it." It's a shield that protects you from people who would take advantage of pretense, and a magnet for those who value sincerity. So wear your truth boldly, let your authenticity shine, and watch as the right people are drawn closer while the wrong ones fade away. Because the power of being true to yourself is not just liberating, it's transformative. Number 2, compassion, a high-energy frequency that repels negativity. Compassion isn't just an act of kindness, it's a powerful force field. When you operate from a place of genuine compassion and kindness, you emit a frequency so high that it naturally repels negativity. People who thrive on drama, manipulation, or toxic energy find it uncomfortable, almost unbearable, to be in the presence of someone who embodies true compassion. Why? Because your light exposes their shadows. Think about it. When someone tries to gossip or stir up negativity, and you respond with empathy or redirect the conversation to something positive, what happens? They either fall silent, become visibly uncomfortable, or try to change the subject entirely. Compassion is the antidote to negativity, and it sends a clear signal. This energy has no place here. Picture this. You're in the break room at work, and a colleague starts complaining about another team member, criticizing their every move. Instead of joining in or remaining silent, you say, "You know, I've noticed they've been working really hard lately. Maybe they're just having a tough week." Your compassionate response flips the dynamic. They now have two choices: either shift to a more constructive tone or walk away because they realize their negativity isn't welcome. Either way, you've set the tone for the interaction, protecting yourself and others from the spiral of negativity. Why it works? Behavioral psychology shows that kindness and compassion are disarming. They don't give negativity a place to root. People who thrive on control or manipulation often struggle to maintain their tactics when faced with someone who refuses to engage in conflict. Compassion, therefore, becomes your shield, a way to disengage without hostility. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. But I will not be harmed, for I have seen the beauty of the good." Compassion isn't about accepting poor behavior. It's about choosing not to let it affect you while maintaining your integrity. There's something amusing about watching negativity crumble in the face of kindness. Imagine someone throwing a tantrum, expecting you to fight back, only for you to respond with calm understanding. Their frustration grows as they realize they can't rile you up, and their own negativity starts to feel ridiculous, even to them. The lesson: compassion doesn't make you weak. It makes you invincible. It's a quiet, steady power that protects you from the storms of negativity and toxic people. By choosing to operate from a place of kindness, you shield yourself while inspiring others to rise to your level of energy. So the next time someone tries to pull you into their chaos, remember this: you don't have to match their energy. Stay rooted in compassion. Let your light shine so brightly that their darkness can't find a place to settle. Because when you lead with love, you don't just protect yourself. You transform the space around you. Number 3, weaponizing silence, breaking manipulative tactics. Sometimes the loudest statement you can make is to say absolutely nothing. Silence isn't just golden, it's tactical. It's the kryptonite to manipulators, drama mongers, and provocateurs who thrive on pulling emotional strings. While they expect an outburst, a counterattack, or even a plea, what they dread most is nothing. Your silence isn't surrender, it's strategy. Picture this: you're at a family gathering, and your cousin, let's call them Drama Dan, has a flair for turning every conversation into a stage for their sarcastic commentary. As you sip your coffee, Dan throws out a zinger. "Oh, still single? Guess nobody's brave enough to handle you." The table chuckles, expecting you to either laugh along or fire back with a witty retort. But instead, you lock eyes with Dan for a moment, raise your eyebrow, and then nothing. Absolute silence. You turn back to your coffee like their words never happened. What happens next? Dan squirms. The tension shifts from you to them because silence is a mirror, and manipulators hate to see their own reflection. Without your reaction, their comment hangs awkwardly in the air, exposed for the petty jab it was. In that moment, they realize they've lost control of the narrative. Victory, yours. Silence works because it breaks the cycle. Manipulative people rely on your emotions to fuel their schemes. They bait you, provoke you, and wait for you to bite. But when you refuse to play the game, you deprive them of the power they crave. Your silence says, "I see what you're doing, and it's not worth my energy." Why it's so effective? Behavioral psychology shows that manipulators rely on predictable emotional responses to maintain control. By choosing silence, you disrupt their expectations, forcing them to rethink their approach. It's like taking the wind out of their sails. Without your reaction, their strategy falters. But let's be clear, silence isn't about passive aggressiveness or sulking. It's about purposeful restraint. It's the art of knowing when to disengage from a losing battle to to protect your peace and maintain your power. Imagine a coworker who loves stirring the pot during meetings. They interrupt, talk over others, and make condescending remarks. Instead of arguing or defending yourself, you stay quiet, meeting their gaze with calm composure. By the end of their rant, they look like a blustering fool while you maintain your dignity and the respect of the room. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You always have the option of having no opinion. There's never any need to get worked up or trouble your soul about things you cannot control." Silence, in this case, is the ultimate no opinion. There's a certain comedy in watching someone try and fail to provoke you. It's like watching a cat paw at a laser pointer that refuses to move. Their frustration becomes your quiet triumph, and let's admit it, there's a guilty pleasure in that. The lesson: silence is more than the absence of words. It's a declaration of self-control. It's a refusal to let someone else dictate your emotions or your energy. By choosing silence, you reclaim your power and leave manipulators floundering in their own noise. So next time someone tries to pull you into their chaos, remember this: you don't owe them a reaction. Sometimes the strongest response is no response at all. Let your silence speak volumes. It's saying, "I'm too busy enjoying my peace to care about your drama." Number 4. True happiness, the gift no one can steal. Happiness isn't found in material possessions, validation from others, or fleeting moments of success. True happiness is something deeper. It's an unshakable peace that comes from within. And here's the kicker: when your happiness is rooted internally, it becomes untouchable. No amount of negativity, manipulation, or bad intentions from others can take it away. Imagine someone trying to rattle you. Maybe it's a coworker who undermines your ideas in a meeting, or a relative who throws passive-aggressive jabs during family dinners. Their goal is simple: to see you react, to shake your confidence, to chip away at your joy. But instead of falling into their trap, you respond with a calm smile, because their actions don't define your happiness. It's not that you're ignoring their behavior, it's that your inner peace is too strong for their negativity to penetrate. The secret to unshakable happiness: true happiness doesn't depend on circumstances. It's built on the foundation of gratitude, purpose, and self-awareness. When you cultivate joy from within, you become immune to external attempts to bring you down. It's not that you're unbothered because you don't care. It's because you've chosen to focus on what truly matters. Think about someone who seems unflappable. Let's call her Mia. Mia is passed over for a promotion at work, not because she isn't qualified, but because of office politics. Her colleagues expect her to be upset, maybe even bitter. But instead, Mia remains cheerful. She knows her worth doesn't depend on a title, and she uses the setback as motivation to grow in new ways. Her happiness confounds her detractors because it comes from a source they can't touch: her sense of self-worth and her purpose. Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Happiness rooted in external factors can be taken away as easily as it's given. But when it's internal, when it's built on your own values, mindset, and sense of gratitude, it becomes untouchable. There's something almost comical about watching someone try their hardest to ruin your day and failing miserably. Imagine a neighbor who complains endlessly about your garden decorations, hoping to irritate you, only for you to respond, "I love it too, thank you for noticing." Their frustration is almost funny, and your joy remains intact. The lesson: true happiness isn't about ignoring negativity. It's about transcending it. It's about choosing not to let external circumstances dictate your internal state. When your joy comes from within, you become a fortress of peace in a world full of chaos. So nurture that inner happiness. Build it with gratitude, self-awareness, and purpose. Because when you own your joy, no one, no matter how toxic, can take it away. And in a world where so many are chasing external validation, your unshakable happiness will be your greatest strength. Number 5. Living at a high energy frequency. Attracting goodness, repelling negativity. Your energy is like a magnet. It attracts what aligns with it and repels what doesn't. When you choose to live at a higher frequency, filled with positivity, gratitude, and purpose, you create an invisible shield against negativity. The toxic, manipulative, and bitter individuals of the world can't survive in the warmth of your light. Simply put, your energy becomes both a beacon for the good and a barrier to the bad. Imagine someone who radiates positivity. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah doesn't just walk into a room, she fills it. Her laughter is infectious, her compliments are sincere, and her outlook is optimistic. But here's the interesting thing. While most people are drawn to her, the ones steeped in negativity, those who thrive on gossip or envy, can't stand being around her for too long. Her energy exposes their bitterness, making them uncomfortable in her presence. They either shift their attitude or quietly fade away. Now think about the opposite. Have you ever noticed how negativity attracts more negativity? If you've ever sat in a room where one person starts complaining, it doesn't take long before others join in, like moths to a flame. But when you live at a higher energy frequency, you disrupt that cycle. Your positivity is like a firewall, refusing to let negativity take hold. Why high energy frequency works? From a psychological perspective, people gravitate toward those who make them feel good about themselves and life. Living at a high energy frequency doesn't mean being relentlessly cheerful. It means embodying authenticity, kindness, and a commitment to growth. It's about choosing to see opportunities where others see obstacles and spreading that mindset to others. Picture someone who's always finding the silver lining. Let's say your colleague Alex loses a project to another team. Instead of spiraling into resentment or blame, he shrugs it off with a smile. That just frees me up to focus on something even better. His attitude inspires others, and soon people want to collaborate with him, not because of his achievements, but because of how he makes them feel. Meanwhile, those who thrive on drama and blame can't find a foothold in his presence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When your thoughts are elevated, so is your energy. And when your energy is elevated, you naturally attract what aligns with it. Living at a high energy frequency can be hilariously uncomfortable for negative people. Imagine someone trying to gossip about a mutual friend, and instead of joining in, you say, "Actually, I think she's really kind and talented." Watch their face twist in frustration as their toxic conversation collapses in real time. It's like watching a balloon deflate. The lesson: your energy is contagious. Make sure it's worth catching. By living at a higher frequency, you don't just improve your own life, you elevate the lives of those around you. The manipulative and toxic won't last long in your orbit, and that's a victory in itself. So, choose your energy wisely. Fill your days with gratitude, compassion, and purpose. When you do, you won't need to fight negativity. It will simply fall away, unable to coexist with the light you bring. The best part? The goodness you attract will remind you every single day why this way of living is the only way to live. Number 6. True freedom. Living beyond the pull of the crowd. Freedom isn't just about breaking chains, it's about breaking free from the silent, invisible forces of conformity. True freedom is the ability to live on your own terms, guided by your values and goals, not by the expectations of the crowd. When you embrace your differences and refuse to be swept up in the wave of collective trends, you claim a kind of freedom that few dare to pursue, and it's liberating beyond measure. Imagine this: the latest trend sweeps through your social circle. Maybe it's an expensive gadget everyone suddenly needs, or a popular lifestyle challenge that everyone is jumping on. But instead of joining the frenzy, you pause. You ask yourself, does this align with what I truly want? Does it serve my goals or my happiness? The answer is no. So you step back. You focus on your own passions, your own pursuits, and your own growth, while others chase fleeting validation. At first, some might raise their eyebrows. They may even question you. Why aren't you doing this? Everyone else is. But then something remarkable happens. As you stand firm in your authenticity, people start noticing your clarity and strength. They see someone who isn't just going with the flow, but is charting their own course. And that kind of confidence? It's magnetic. The power of saying no, choosing not to follow the crowd, doesn't make you a rebel. It makes you deliberate. It means you're willing to prioritize what truly matters over what's popular. This is where true freedom lives. Not in doing whatever you want, but in knowing exactly why you're doing it. It's about having the courage to say no to what doesn't serve you, so you can say yes to what does. Think about someone pursuing a creative dream in a world obsessed with stability. Perhaps it's an artist who decides to dedicate their time to painting while their peers race to climb corporate ladders. At first, they might be met with skepticism or even judgment, but as they pour their energy into their passion, their work begins to speak for itself. Over time, those same critics start to admire their dedication, wishing they had the same courage to follow their own dreams. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. True freedom isn't about rejecting society, it's about choosing what influences you. It's about aligning your actions with your values, not with external pressures. True freedom doesn't isolate you, it empowers you. When you stop chasing what others deem important, you discover what's important to you. It's not about turning your back on the world, it's about living in it on your terms. And in doing so, you inspire others to question their own choices and perhaps, just perhaps, embrace their own version of freedom. The lesson: freedom is not found in following the crowd, it's found in following your heart. It's the quiet confidence of knowing you don't need the world's approval to live a life that's meaningful to you. So, step away from the noise, the trends, and the expectations. Step into the wide, open space of your own possibilities. Because when you choose freedom, you don't just live, you soar. And that's a kind of freedom that no one can ever take from you. Number 7. Healing and forgiveness. Releasing the weight of past hurts. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It's not about condoning what was done to you or inviting someone back into your life. It's about setting yourself free from anger, resentment, and the emotional chains that keep you tied to the past. Forgiveness is not weakness. It's one of the most profound acts of self-liberation. It's saying, I choose peace over pain. I choose freedom over being bound by what you did. Let's paint a picture. You've been through a heartbreak, the kind that feels like it shatters you, leaving cracks in places you didn't even know existed. Maybe it was a toxic partner who betrayed your trust, or a friend who let you down in a way you never expected. For weeks, maybe months, the anger simmers. You replay the events in your mind, thinking of all the ways you were wronged. It feels righteous, until it doesn't. One day you realize the anger isn't hurting them, it's hurting you. They've moved on, blissfully unaware, while you carry the weight of that resentment. And so, in an act of quiet defiance, you decide to forgive. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Why forgiveness heals you. Psychologists have long studied the power of forgiveness and found that it reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, and improves mental clarity. When you forgive, you're not letting the other person off the hook. You're letting yourself off the hook of being controlled by their actions. It's the ultimate reclaiming of your power. Think of someone who's been wronged in a business deal, a partner who cheated them out of profits. Instead of stewing in bitterness, they choose to move on. They rebuild their business, stronger than before, and let their success speak louder than their anger ever could. Their forgiveness isn't for the betrayer, it's for the sake of their own future. Marcus Aurelius, ever wise, wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Forgiveness isn't about revenge, it's about choosing not to let someone else's actions dictate your peace of mind. It's about rising above, not sinking to their level. Forgiveness doesn't erase the memory, it transforms it. The pain becomes a lesson, the betrayal becomes a turning point, and the person you become is stronger, wiser, and freer. Healing doesn't mean forgetting, it means no longer being controlled by the past. The lesson: when you forgive, you don't just release the other person, you release yourself. You reclaim the energy that resentment was stealing from you and use it to build something better. Whether that's a healthier relationship, a brighter future, or simply a peaceful present. So let go, not for them, but for you. Let the weight fall away and feel the lightness of a heart that no longer carries anger. Because forgiveness isn't about making them better, it's about making you free. And freedom, that's the greatest gift you can give yourself. Number 8, the art of reading people, decoding intentions through body language and words. The ability to truly read people is like having a superpower. It's not about judging or making assumptions, but about observing the subtle signals they unconsciously send, the words they choose, their tone, and the small movements of their body. When you're different, when you step back and look at the world from an outside perspective, you hone this skill naturally. It becomes a compass, guiding you to who's genuine and who's wearing a mask. Imagine this. You're at a casual networking event. As you're speaking to someone, they nod along to your words but keep glancing at their phone or the exit. Their arms are crossed, their posture leans away from you, and their responses are clipped. Do they really care about what you're saying? Of course not. Their body language screams disinterest louder than any polite words they might use. Recognizing this, you decide not to waste further energy trying to engage them. Instead, you move on to someone whose body language mirrors genuine interest. Open arms, steady eye contact, and a smile that reaches their eyes. Now let's flip the scenario. You're meeting a potential friend or business partner, and they say all the right things, but something feels off. Maybe their smile is too fixed, their tone too rehearsed, or they avoid direct eye contact during key moments of the conversation. Your intuition tells you there's more to the story, and because you trust your instincts, you tread carefully, asking clarifying questions or waiting to see if their actions match their words. Behavioral psychology tells us that over 70% of communication is nonverbal. The way someone gestures, the pitch of their voice, or even a fleeting expression can reveal their true intentions. By paying attention to these subtle cues, you can avoid manipulation and form deeper, more authentic connections. Sometimes reading people can be downright amusing. Picture someone in a heated argument, pointing a finger while taking a step back, an unspoken admission of their own insecurity. Or imagine a colleague nodding vigorously during a meeting while their eyes glaze over, revealing their complete disinterest. Recognizing these moments for what they are can be both enlightening and a little entertaining. As Epictetus advised, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. True observation requires silence, patience, and the ability to resist jumping to conclusions. It's about letting people reveal themselves rather than forcing interpretations. Think about a time when someone offered you help, but their actions didn't follow through. Maybe they avoided your calls or seemed unusually unavailable after their initial promise. These behaviors, combined with their lack of commitment in their body language, told you everything you needed to know about their sincerity, or lack thereof. The lesson: the ability to read people isn't about paranoia, it's about clarity. It's about noticing the small details that others overlook and using that information to protect your peace and energy. When you learn to decode the subtle language of the body and tone, you become not just a better communicator, but a wiser decision maker. So let your eyes observe, your ears listen, and your intuition guide you. People reveal their truths in countless ways. All you have to do is pay attention. And when you master this skill, you'll find yourself navigating relationships with confidence, avoiding unnecessary drama, and connecting deeply with those who truly matter. It's not just a skill, it's a game changer. Conclusion: in the end, being different isn't about standing out for the sake of it. It's about standing true to who you are, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it sets you apart. The 9 aspects we've explored today are not just insights, they're tools. Tools that help you protect your energy, elevate your life, and build meaningful connections that resonate with your values. But now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 9 aspects resonates with you the most? Is it the power of authenticity, the ability to read people, or perhaps the strength found in forgiveness? Share your stories in the comments below. Let's create a space where we learn from one another, celebrate our differences, and grow stronger together. If this video inspired you, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to Victory Stoic, and join our ever-growing community of thinkers and doers. Together, we're learning to turn every challenge into an opportunity, and every opportunity into a step toward the extraordinary. And remember this: your difference is not your weakness. It's your greatest strength. It's what shields you from toxicity and lights the path to the life you're destined to live. So embrace it fully. Stand tall in your truth. Live freely, live authentically, and most importantly, live courageously. Because the world doesn't need more of the same, it needs more of you.